My name is Angel. I am Director of Organization Development here at SunWest. And on the line here with me, I am pleased to introduce our CEO, Pavan Agarwal.
Hello, everybody. It is always a fun to be at these events every week. And Angel always makes it even more fun.
I try. So today we're going to be talking about growing and thriving in this crazy market that we're in. And to do that, you really have to have the right tools and therefore be with a company that gives you all the tools that you need to succeed. So we've got a lot to share today about SunWest and the differences you see here at SunWest, but the underlying theme you're going to see throughout is our commitment to our originators and to cutting edge technology. It's no secret rates have been on the rise. So to be as competitive as possible and allow your borrowers the most buying power as possible, you've got to keep costs low. And this is where technology really gives you the edge against your competition. So you'll see the technology here today. You're not going to see it anywhere else. And it's these tools that really allow us to keep our costs low, keep our originations fast, and only getting faster, and really continuously provide great experience for our originators and our borrowers. And everything we're going to talk about here today, this is both for our retail and our wholesale partners. So we will take a look at the technology here in just a minute, but first I want to show you the latest stats because the technology is only as good as the results, right? So here are the stats from our last 100-day report card. And this is pretty amazing stuff. So if you've heard of our 8 a.m. approval, what that means is you submit a loan to SunWest by 8 p.m., you'll have your conditional approval by 8 a.m. the next morning, and that's a full underwrite. So whether it's a pre-approval or a true loan with a property, we send everything direct to underwriting, and then you have your conditional approval by 8 a.m. the next morning. 99.8% of all the loans submitted in the past 100 days met that 8 a.m. approval. And these aren't just your really clean, easy files, right? So there's some more stats up here. 32, almost 33% of all of those loans that met that 8 a.m. approval were for borrowers with FICO scores under 620.
And also, I want to clarify something that we don't count 8 a.m. from the time you submit to underwriting. Because usually you take a loan application, then it goes through a loan opener, then your processor, and then you submit to underwriting. And then whatever lender you're working with will say, okay, we are in 24 to 48 hours underwriting turn time. What we're talking about here is straight from loan app to approval. It's that fast. So right now it's in the afternoon in Puerto Rico, and Angel, you are in California.
Right? Big time.
Yeah. So if I take a loan application right now, let's say, Angel, I take your loan application and Angel, she's not too smart with her money. She's got a 550 credit score, bankruptcy a couple of years ago.
Giving away all my secrets, Pavan.
all of these other things, but she's doing an FHA loan. She's buying a $400,000 house in Burbank. Is that even possible? You hit a $400,000 house.
Very small house.
So I take a reasonably complete loan application with you right now, and I submit it, and I will have the loan thoroughly underwritten, final underwriting decision. This isn't a pre-qual, this isn't a pre-approval, this isn't just a DU run. This is final loan decision by tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. It is that fast. It's hyper speed. Everything happens in a couple of hours from loan setup, processing, underwriting, everything is done. So typically it'll be done in a couple of hours, but the guarantee is for 8 a.m.
Yeah, and as you can see, more stats up here, similar scenarios to what Pavan was talking about, down payment 5% or less, those smaller down payments. Over 50% of those loans were for first-time home buyers. So even those more complicated loans, they're still going to get those same turn times. I mean, if you really think about it, how many loans has your current underwriting team declined because of some of these complicating factors? How much business has that really cost you? You have to ask yourself. Once the loan has that conditional review, we're reviewing conditions really quickly, only getting faster. So very near to 100%, 99.5% of conditions are reviewed in under an hour and a half. 95% are reviewed in under an hour, and 70% are reviewed in under just 40 minutes.
So that means, like, if you have a closing coming up in the next hour or two and you finally just got the document from the borrower for whatever reason, I'm sure that never happens. Don't have to stress. You drop it in. You don't have to ask for a rush. You don't have to beg and plead with underwriting. You just drop it into Morgan, and most likely in under 40 minutes it'll be signed off. But definitely in under 90 minutes it'll be signed off. I don't recommend you pushing conditions all the way out to the closing, but we all have been in those situations, and there's no need to stress. Okay. And I also want to take this time to comment on something you said earlier, is about this market, right? This market is volatile. You see rates moving all over the place, and rates are moving as much as a point and a half in a day or two. Yeah. I get asked all the time, which way is the market going? Are we in for more pain? Is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better? To that, my response is nobody knows which way the market is going. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're Elon Musk or Warren Buffett or Ray Dalio, nobody knows which way the market is going. If they did, they'd be gazillionaires instead of trillionaires. They would own the market. If anyone knew which way the market was going, they would own the market. So no one knows which way it's going. And that's not what's important. What's important is to be prepared for the market and have not only the right tools, that's what we're going to talk about today, but also the right culture and the right mentorship so that you can succeed. I've been a loan officer my whole life. I've done a lot of production. I don't originate loans today, but I direct the origination of a very large amount of volume. And a lot of the volume, frankly, that's on West Guess, is due to what I've done in building the business and building these sales channels and building the referral channels, I should say. So I know how to get loans originated. I know how to sell realtors. I know how to close realtors. And we have a formula that works. We've closed billions and billions of dollars of loans with this formula, and we close them fast and cleanly and smoothly. And I can share those secrets. I do share those secrets and those techniques with our team members. It's not for everyone. It requires a high degree of discipline and a high degree of commitment. But the loan business does require a high degree of discipline and commitment, always has. Last, 2020, 2021 was an anomaly. It seemed like loans were falling out of the sky. And some of us got a little spoiled by that. But the reality is, a professional, and you all are professional loan officers, professional bankers need to do things with deliberate diligence and discipline. And you have to have leadership that can show you the sales skills, the sales tricks, the sales tips. And you have to have leadership that knows how to talk to realtors. I can talk, whatever the situation is, I can talk to your realtors. Everyone in the executive team can talk to your realtors and turn them around. I talk to realtors all the time. And it's just a matter of understanding the situation, understanding them. This is the reason why Jason Oppenheim, who, in my opinion, is the #1 realtor in the country, is is part of our team. He endorses Morgan and our technology. So those kinds of techniques, how to get direction and access to the best in the business, I can help you with. Right. So step one is to sign up. I'm not going to help you if you're not on my team. Step one is sign up, and once you sign up, then you follow the culture, you follow the processes. These things really work well. They're different. It's because I'm different. Look at me. But they work well. I made a lot of money. It's very, very successful at it. And they can work for you. So
I do. I see Pavan working with our originators, talking to realtors every day. So it's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk. And, it's very valuable anytime. But, Pavan, as you said, in this market, when loans aren't falling out of the sky, and you do need to take a look at those loans that aren't easy slam dunks. You need a team and technology and mentors who can help you get those loans done.
I can help you get the loans done, but more importantly, I can help open up doors and get you into real estate offices and referral partners that you were struggling to get in before. We've got tools and techniques that, frankly, no one else has. In the last 60 days, I've been in front of at least 2 conferences with entire room, 400, 500, 600 agents, real estate agents, right? Which is the source of our business, all of our business. And talking to them about our technology and thoroughly engaging with them, and they're excited. And we have conferences coming up next year, and I think in Vegas in March, Houston and Dallas after that, and Miami. And each of these conferences are going to have a minimum 300 to 400 agents, and they're coming to get training and coaching from us. Some of you may have seen invitations for the smaller conferences that we've been having throughout the state, throughout the country. We're going to continue to have those. If you can attend one of the smaller conferences, please do so. A lot of good information on there. But definitely don't miss the big ones. And to get into the big ones, they're invitation only. So you have to qualify to get into one of the big conferences. So one way to get qualified is to attend the small conference, make a connection with us. Then you can get qualified, or you can sign up with us, and then you're automatically qualified as a part of our team. Go ahead, back to you, Angel.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to those. They're a lot of fun and always eye-opening information. So we look forward to hopefully meeting a lot of you there at those conferences. Now, when you're looking at these stats that we've been talking about on the screen here, I know there's got to be a few numbers people out there that are like, okay, but what about that 0.05%? And we haven't forgotten about those. So it doesn't mean the turn time is much longer, but these are some of the scenarios that are included in that 0.05% that didn't make that turn time. So it is our AI that allows us to hit these turn times and keep our originations efficient with low cost. And the beauty of it is that AI is always learning, right? Just like no two borrowers are exactly the same, our AI needs to continue to learn and grow, and it just gets faster and better every single day, which is really cool to watch. But so that you will see small number of first time, unique, complex scenarios that as the AI is learning what that scenario means and how to evaluate it, how to read the document, that's when you get that 0.05% that didn't miss that incredibly fast already turn time. So these are going to be like documents in foreign languages. When your borrower over the past couple of years has been with multiple employers, having 2 or 3 jobs with each of those employers, you've got entrepreneurs, self-employed that also have lots of rental properties. Those are the types of more complicated things that might take the AI a little bit longer as it learns, but it's still going to be done quickly for you. And we'll get into this a lot more later, but it'll get done, more importantly, accurately. So the AI that you are going to see today, SunWest stands 100% behind anything that AI tells you, any answer that you get, if it reviews a document for you, any of that. So we'll talk a lot more about that SunWest security behind the AI. But the AI, it allows us to treat any borrower the same. For any borrower to have the same experience, the same turn times, the same smoothness through their origination process. Can your 580 credit score loans close in 10 days? Because at SunWest, consistently, they do. Fair lending means you provide that same level of service and turn times to all of the borrowers, regardless of how complicated their financial situation is. And this is a 24-hour operation. So when we say an hour, if your borrower, gets off work at 11 p.m. on a Saturday and uploads their condition, same turn time stands. So we're not just saying this for during standard business hours when your borrowers are probably working. No other lender, we've looked and we continue to look. No other lender is going to come close to these promises that we make. So I'll actually show you. Oh, the proof is in the pudding here. Blocked out the names to protect the innocent, but here are just some examples I got from some of our biggest competitors right off of their websites. So blow this up a little bit. So here's one of them, loan setup, the express setup is 1 day. So at SunWest, we do that for you. You take a reasonably complete application, you upload the documentation you have. Of course, for an underwriting decision, most critical is going to be income asset documentation. You toss it in the system just as you have it, and don't spend time organizing, labeling. It's going to be with underwriting in an hour. So our loan setup takes just about an hour, and that's all complete and straight to underwriting. Look at another one here. This was a social media post. So this is a scenario guarantee. They'll review your loan scenario in 2 hours or less, which is pretty quick. It's not quite at the 1 hour, but I'll give it to them. That's pretty quick until you see this. If it's between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. So definitely not a 24-hour operation to be able to give you the scenario reviews. The Morgan technology we're going to show you here in a minute, you can send a loan scenario to Morgan, not just have your answer to that scenario much faster than 2 hours, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But also, again, it's an answer that's going to be guaranteed by SunWest. SunWest will stand behind anything that Morgan tells you. So when you get responses to your loan scenarios from Morgan, you know we're going to stand by them. Let's see, let's look at one more here. So conditions, and this is a lot of text here. So example for a 1-day turn time, if you upload it by 7:59 on a Monday, Tuesday would be 1 business day. So it'll be reviewed by the end of business on Tuesday. But if you upload at 8:01 p.m., then it's treated as a Tuesday upload. So Wednesday is the 1 day. Okay, so their condition review is a 1-day turn time with a bunch of caveats to it. But then if you keep reading, turn times are estimated based on loan volume. So that's not even just the turn time promise, that's based on what loan volume comes in that day. And that's a question that we do get a lot. So we're showing you these amazingly quick turn times, and inevitably someone raises their hand and asks the question, okay, well, that's your turn time today for the past 100 days. What happens when volume increases? And the answer is the same thing. So our loan volume can increase 4 times its current volume before we have to make any material increases in our human staff. That's because it's the AI working. So the technology supports our continued growth. So it keeps our costs low because we are not having to hire and train more and more ops staff to keep up with that volume. So quadruple the volume, we're still on the same turn times, no material increase in staff, but that's not the limit either. So we continue to be scalable. They would just be a very small increase of 3 FTE, 3 full-time employees for every block of 50 additional loans per day. So again, keeping costs low is what allows you to make good compensation, offer lower rates to your borrowers, increase their buying power with those lower rates. So keeping costs low is a huge impact of the AI technology and other technology that we have here at SunWest.
So I'm going to just put that in perspective. People may not understand what that means. We're talking about 50 more per day. So that means tomorrow I get 50 more loans than I was doing today, and then the day after I get 50 more loans, and so on, so on, so on. So that's actually, if we add 300 million a month of more production, we only have to add 3 more FTEs. So it's a huge number. So we can scale. So if we add 600 million more a month of production, we have to add only 6 more people, right? And that's after we quadruple our current volume, right? So even in the height of the market when it was impossible to find people, finding 3, anyone can find 3 people. So this is like, you would be in a situation where you never have to worry about turn times ever being delayed or missed or anything like that. And not only that, but the way the technology is headed, the other slide where Angel was showing that we're doing 70% of the conditions in under 40 minutes, right? To put that in perspective, a month ago, it was, about 60 minutes. So we shaved off 20 minutes about 2 months. In about 2 months, we shaved off 60 minutes. And the rate at which that time frame is going down is accelerating. So in another month or 2, we'll be down to just a couple of minutes. And that's how fast conditions will be reviewed and loans will be underwritten. So as the AI gets smarter and the rules get more extensive and the training data gets more extensive, everything just gets faster and faster and faster. And you really get to drop in a document and you get an approval. Because it is going to be that fast. It's that simple, and it's within our reach.
Yeah. So again, you're only as productive as the tools that you use. And that AI, these productivity tools, that's not just on the operation side. We've been talking about condition review, underwriting turn times, all of that good stuff. But it's also there to support you in your role as the originator. So when you think of a lot of the things that you're currently spending your time on, the paperwork, the income calculation, the trying to figure out how to structure a deal to make it work, looking up guidelines, all of that stuff, the AI can do for you. So you can really be spending your valuable time growing your business, being out there, attending open houses, events, meeting clients, building relationships with referral sources, all of those things that are going to bring you more borrowers, more volume, and not spending your time with all of those tasks that the AI can do for you. So you just send it a message, quick as sending a text message or an instant message, tell it what you need it to do, tell it what questions you have. If your loan's with SunWest, then it can actually work on your loans for you. So you just, hey, change this borrower to a non-borrowing spouse and move on with your life. So you're only as productive as the tools that you use. How do you want to spend your time? How you spend your time affect your business? All right, so Morgan, well, you guys, you're watching this, so you're in Morgan right now, right? So you've seen it. It's as simple to use as just sending a message to a friend. Morgan is our empathetic AI technology. So anything to do with mortgage, SunWest, or anything in between, Morgan can help you with. This is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You can even ask Morgan to talk to me. In other words, you can even ask Morgan for me, and Morgan will connect you.
Yep, literally anything SunWest, all the way to talking to our CEO, you can ask Morgan for. We call it Morgan people-powered AI. And for that reason, you're never going to get a, sorry, I don't know that one, oh, we're closed, try back in the morning. If you ask Morgan a question or you give Morgan a request to do something for you, you will get your response 100% backed by SunWest. And we do that through the people-powered part of the technology. So 24 hours a day, no matter what you ask Morgan, if the AI has not learned that answer or how to complete that request yet, a live expert is going to be available to complete that request. Make sure you get your answer that you need. So a little bit about the way it works. So as I mentioned, it's always learning, and that's kind of the beauty of it. You can literally ask anything. So as consumers, we're used to going to Google, type in the question, hit enter, and all of a sudden we've got pages and pages and pages of results because Google has taken those keywords and spit out everything on the World Wide Web that matches one or more of those keywords. So then it's up to us to go through them and see, where's the answer I was actually looking for. And then once we find it, we have to take it a step forward, right? A step further and do the research to verify. Anything can be put on the internet, so it's not necessarily true. So in contrast with Morgan, if the AI hasn't already learned that request or question yet, Morgan's going to give you an ETA. You don't have to sit there on the page. You can put your phone down, close out the browser window, move on with your life. Morgan's going to send you a text message and an email when that answer is available. So she'll give you an ETA and then send you a text and an email when the answer is ready. So you just click that link, you're back in the conversation and you have your answer. So again, to contrast the two, Google, immediate, millions of answers, you verify yourself. Morgan, sometimes immediate, sometimes she'll give you an ETA, but you'll get one answer back and it is the correct answer backed by SunWest. All right, so this is a little bit of what Morgan can do for you. Here's one example. So you guys are in Morgan now. You asked her to watch this webinar here with us. So you know the chat feature. So at its most basic, that's really all you need to be able to get your questions answered from Morgan. You'll also notice right next to that text field, you have a little paperclip icon. So that is how you attach documents to send them to Morgan. Lots of different reasons you might do that. Here you can see I'm sending her a couple years of tax returns and asking her to do the income calculation. So, you guys may be used to doing your income calculations yourself. I always say send them to Morgan because, one, you're saving yourself the time that could be better spent elsewhere, bringing in new business. And two, if you're sending the loan to SunWest, SunWest stands behind that calculation. So if you did the income calculation and you slipped up, you made a little mistake, you overstated the income, when the file goes through underwriting, we're going to use the corrected income. If you use Morgan, and we really don't deal with it a lot, but say again, Morgan overstated the income. When the file went to underwriting, we'd be able to look back and see what did Morgan tell you, and that is the income calculation we would stand behind. So it saves you a lot of time, not just in calculating the income, but in the deal going through underwriting, that there's no back and forth.
Right. And actually, this is one of the little sales tricks that I will teach you: how to get more business out of existing referral partners and how to open up new referral partners. Which is, you can walk in there when you have a SunWest business card and say and offer a warranty. And that differentiates yourself from every other loan originator in the country. Right? So it's no longer, trust me, I'll get this loan done for you. It's, I have a warranty, and whatever I've told you, because whatever I've told you is what Morgan has told me, it's warranted. Right. So there's a massive national lender behind your words. And that changes the whole dynamics, and that immediately separates you apart. So that's your free tip. The rest you'll get when you join.
So you may have heard, we often refer to Morgan as like having a DU underwriter sitting right next to you, available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to ask any questions you want. I'm sure many of you out there would love to have just that. But then think about it. Morgan takes it a step further, because I don't think that you will ever meet any underwriter that says, I will guarantee my answers. I will warranty every answer that I give you 100% of the time. And that's what you get with Morgan.
Yeah. I challenge you to ask your current underwriter that if you're wrong, will you write the check? And they will never say yes to that. It's not possible.
Yeah. So again, that's one major way you can really differentiate yourself with your referral partners and with your customers. So I sent Morgan those 2 years tax returns. I got this big old explanation back, so I'll break it down here. She gave me the borrower's monthly income. She told me what part was usable income. She explained which documents I would need to verify the income. But she took it a step further. And this is a perfect example of why we say Morgan is like having a DU underwriter right there in your pocket, just at your fingertips, because she didn't just tell me what I asked for. I asked for the income calculation. So she gave me that in that first paragraph. But then she reviewed the whole document or multiple documents the same way a human underwriter would. Because she says, hey, there's an additional concern here. Essentially, she's telling me this borrower is employed by their spouse's business. So if we're going to use salary income from a family-owned business, we're going to need these additional things. So she didn't just stop at giving me what I asked for and letting me go on my merry way without that important information that I'm going to need to set the right expectation and create a good experience for my borrower. She looked at it same way a human underwriter would, gave me all the information I need to set the appropriate expectations. So you guys have already tried Morgan once because you're here, if not more. But let's give it a try. Let's give Morgan a simple request. You may have been wondering this whole time, where do I get one of these very cool Morgan t-shirts? So I'm going to give you the opportunity right now. Just type
It's
in
funny,
Morgan.
I thought you were talking about your hair. I could use some of that hair.
I think that's the one thing Morgan won't be able to do yet. So tell Morgan you want a t-shirt. She'll get your information. She'll send you a free t-shirt. So that's a fun way to use Morgan. But of course, there's more work practical ways that you can use Morgan, like we saw the income calculation. Here's a question: what's the max LTV for a cash out refi? And there you can see Morgan told me it's 80%. So any question that you guys have as you're working with borrowers, guideline questions on any products that we have, and remember, we have absolutely no overlays on any of our agency products. So if you have questions about the guidelines, you can go straight to Morgan, and you can do that today. So whether or not you're already partnered with us, you can use Morgan, try it out, and then you can even tell Morgan, hey, I want to partner with SunWest. She'll get you set up. So let's look at our loan file process. This is a flow chart, and it shows you what our whole process looks like. We really try to take as much off of your guys' plate as the originator as we can. Again, so that you can focus your time and energy on bringing in the business. So loan officer task here, you get the application, you run credit, upload your documents. And when I say that, you just give them to Morgan. Give them to Morgan as your customer gave it to you. Morgan will do the organizing, the labeling, the separating PDFs, all of that stuff. So just send it to Morgan as is. Make sure e-consent's done by your borrower and you submit. And that is the end of your responsibility with that file. You're on to the next one. So think how quickly you could get that done. And if that's all you had to do on a file, how much extra time would you have in your day? So when you submit your file, as we mentioned earlier, all of the setup tasks are done in under an hour. That's your initial disclosures, any third-party services ordered, all your setup tasks. If it's a TBD, a pre-approval, you can even at this point do an early property inspection waiver check. So if your borrower has, a property that they like, but they haven't gotten an accepted offer yet, or you're working with a realtor or one of your referral partners, they can give you a whole list of properties that match the criteria of the borrower, and you can do a check for all of them. So we would be able to see, before they're even under contract, if they were to get under contract, could a PIW be granted? So going into it, is there going to be an appraisal condition on the file? If not, if your borrower chooses to, they can make an offer without appraisal contingency. So everything goes direct to underwriting, pre-approval, true loan, direct to underwriting. We've got that 8 a.m. approval, and that is that's the conditional approval. It's done. There's no second underwrite. That is it. We talked about our condition review time. So we review conditions as they come in. We're at that 1 hour condition review time. And then on your pre-approvals, once your borrower has turned in all of their conditions, that pre-approval turns into what we call a true approval. So the TRU, it stands for thoroughly reviewed and underwritten, and it means we're done with the borrower. So we've got everything we need from them. We've underwritten them. We got all their documentation, verification. They're good to go. So they get a new letter. They get that true approval letter that says this is a conditionally guaranteed approval. It allows them to make offers that can actually compete with cash offers, because they can make an offer now with no financing contingency. They don't have to worry about an approval anymore. They're already approved. All right, so other things that you can do here at SunWest to give your borrowers an advantage when they're out shopping, along with that true approval, we do allow the commonly referred to lock and shop, which means you can lock on your TBDs for up to 90 days. In this rate environment, that is a huge selling point for your referral partners and for your borrowers. They can lock in today's rate and still shop. And there's no additional cost for that either. Whatever the 90-day lock price is, that's what it is for a TBD. So whether you have a property or not, same price. We mentioned the early PIW check. So you can go into it knowing if there's going to be an appraisal condition or not. If not, man, once they get under contract, we just need title and escrow and we're done. Product-wise, we do have a really wide variety of products. As I mentioned earlier, all of our agency products, we have absolutely no overlays. So FHA, VA, we go down to FICOs down to 500, USDA down to 581, conventional down to 620. We also do no FICO. So you can ask Morgan about that. Down payment assistance programs, we've got a ton of them. Another great thing to ask Morgan, tell her where you're licensed and ask what DPAs are available there. We're always adding more as well. Renovation, rehab loans. We're actually one of the largest providers of reverse mortgage in the country. We've been doing them for a long time, tons of experience in reverse, and that's also a very popular product right now. Tune in on Friday. We'll be doing another one of these live webinars specifically on reverse mortgage. So if you want more information about reverse mortgage, please join us for that. Just hop on, same time, use morgan.com and tell her you want to join now. And she'll get you on with us for that reverse mortgage webinar. We've got jumbo loans. We have the 3-2-1 and the 2-1 buy down. So that can also be a helpful product to have in this rate environment. Servicing, we do continue to service the majority of our loans. So it's just a really small percentage of our non-QM, like 10% of non-QM we don't service, but everything else we maintain servicing for, which is great because if you look up our servicing team, they have awesome reviews. So it makes sure that your borrower continues to have a good experience even after closing. You're not, rolling the dice and who knows where they end up and what that experience will be like, because, you may not be affiliated with that servicer, but in your borrower's mind, you are, right? You got them that loan and now here they are with this servicing company. And if it's not a good experience, in the borrower's mind, it's a reflection on you. So by maintaining the servicing, we can make sure that that's a good experience. You know, the origination process in the borrower's mind is such a small piece when you look at a 30-year mortgage. So they may be with you originating the loan here with SunWest in 10 days. 30 years they're going to be with that servicing company, or until they sell or refinance. So another benefit of that is, like you see on the screen at the very top of every mortgage statement, we've got your picture, your contact information. So you're always top of mind. They always have your information handy when they're ready for their next loan. We also have an amazing marketing team. They're totally at the disposal of our originators. So of course we have a ton of just off the shelf stuff that can be really quickly customized for you. But what's really unique is they'll do custom content. So we have graphic designers, video editors, content writers. You just let them know what the vision is. You know, if it's something unique to your community, or, you know, you want to take a different angle on something, you just let them know. They take care of compliance review, everything in 24 to 48 hours. They'll do social media. Check out our YouTube channel. There's a ton of content out there as well. And any of that can be customized to include your information so you can use it in your own marketing. You get your commissions fast. So within 24 hours of final confirmation of your loan funding, your commission is in your account. When you are first coming on board on the retail side, while you wait for your license to transfer, oftentimes folks will work with a transition loan officer. In those instances, just to be fully transparent here, in those instances when there's like a split commission, you would get your commission on a regular pay date, the 7th or the 22nd. But once you're up and running, your license is transferred, that's when that 24-hour thing kicks in. Another thing that we do for retail loan officers coming on board is a recruitment bonus. So if you decide to come on board and you have friends, colleagues in the industry that you think this would also be a great fit for, you just let us know. If we do end up bringing them on board, then you get a 10 basis point recruitment bonus on every loan they close, forever and ever, as long as both of you are with us. The nice thing about this is it doesn't come out of their pricing. So this comes from the company. This is really just a thank you. They get the same deal you do. So here's a comparison of, you know, industry averages versus the pricing you're going to see at SunWest. So there's some major differences. One, as we've been talking about, the technology that takes the place of a lot of the operations overhead that you see everywhere else. And two, as you see, we're a very flat organization. We don't have layers and layers of management that all take overrides that gets built into your pricing that your customers pay for. We have a very flat organization, which is a huge cost savings and is also a benefit to you, as Pavan's saying, because you do get to work directly with our senior leadership. So you have that, that mentor as well. If something comes up and you go directly to the decision makers to ask your question, make your suggestions. So lots of benefits of being such a flat organization. But back to pricing. So corporate take typically is about 150 basis points. At SunWest, we take 50. So you're saving 100 basis points right off the top. We'll put MLO comp at 150 just to keep it even across the board. So same comp. Sales and operations management layers average is about 100 basis points. It's going to be 0 at SunWest, so there's another 100 you're saving. Operations expenses, 75 basis points. It's 0 at SunWest. That's the power of the AI technology. and brick and mortar, 8 versus 3. So you're looking at an average of 483 basis points at a typical mortgage banker versus 203 basis points on average at SunWest. So that difference of 280 basis points, that can be a whole percentage difference in rate. And especially today, 1% is a huge deal. That can make or break whether your borrower can afford the home of their dreams or not. So you're able to keep your comp where you're comfortable with while still offering competitive rates. This is a clip of what our pricing tool looks like. So it is a proprietary tool. You'll notice all the systems we use, we do develop in-house. They're all proprietary, so we don't use like Optimal Blue, anything like that. If you would like to try out our pricing tool, just ask Morgan as we wrap up the call and say, hey, Morgan, I want a pricing login. She'll get you a login so that you can price out scenarios, really compare apples to apples to what you're looking at currently today. It's a very simple tool to use, as you will see. When you're doing your loan here, you can lock, relock, extend your lock all right there within the tool. And we do allow you to lock 24 hours a day. So just to kind of summarize some of the things that we've talked about over this last hour-ish, almost hour together here today. SunWest is a very solid company, and that's important in a cyclical industry. We've been family-owned, privately owned and operated for 42 years, over 42 years now. We have very strong capital. We have absolutely no debt. As far as day-to-day, as Pavan said, our originators, they work directly with our senior leadership. So if anything comes up, you have a question, you have a suggestion, you go directly to that senior leadership, which saves a lot of time as well. You're not running things up the flagpole and waiting for them to come back and hoping things didn't get lost in translation along the way. Our underwriting, it's fast, it's consistent, it's reliable, it's 24 hours a day. And as you see, we really do lead the industry in the technology that we offer. So with that, folks, I thank you so much for joining us this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are, learning a little bit more about SunWest and, of course, the technology that allows us to be what we are today and to provide the experience to our originators and borrowers that we do today. If you'd like more information, any questions that you have, you can ask right here in the Morgan chat. If you would like to actually get on the phone and speak to someone, just let Morgan know that, and we'll be reaching out to you. So with that, again, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Bye-bye.